Close your eyes for a moment and listen, not to the noise of the world, but to the voice within you. That voice is the architect of your reality. It is the silent force shaping every moment, every experience, and every outcome in your life. And for 3 days, I want you to take full control of it. For 3 days, speak to yourself only in the language of fulfillment. No more I hope, no more I wish, no more maybe one day. Replace them with I am. It is done. I have received. When you wake up, tell yourself, I am already the person I desire to be. When doubt creeps in, whisper, it is done. Nothing can shake me. When fear tries to whisper, respond, I walk in certainty, for all is unfolding in my favor. You are not begging life to change, you are commanding it. The moment you shift your self-talk, your energy changes. And when your energy changes, reality has no choice but to bend to your new assumption. For 3 days, guard your words like a treasure. The world may try to shake you, old habits may try to return, but you must remain firm. When the mind says, look at reality, you will answer, I create my reality. And as you do this, something remarkable will happen. The air will feel different. People will respond to you differently. Doors will open without effort. Why? Because you are no longer speaking from a place of lack. You are speaking from the throne of power. Talk to yourself like this for 3 days and you will never speak the old way again. You will look around and realize you have become the person you once dreamed of. Because the moment you spoke it, it was already so. The words you speak within yourself are the foundation of your reality. Every thought, every whisper of self-talk, whether intentional or unintentional, is a seed planted in the soil of your subconscious mind. And like any seed, it grows, expands, and eventually becomes the world you experience. What you tell yourself in private, what you affirm when no one is watching, is the force that shapes what manifests in your life. You do not experience life as it is. You experience life as you assume it to be. Most people walk through life unaware of the immense power held within their own minds. They allow their thoughts to run unchecked, filled with doubt, fear, and limitation. I can't do this. Things never work out for me. I'm not good enough. And without realizing it, these words become self-fulfilling prophecies. The mind, obedient and unquestioning, takes these statements as instructions. It does not argue, it does not challenge, it simply reflects back into the world what has been consistently affirmed. But just as negative self-talk imprisons, conscious, intentional self-talk liberates. The moment you take control of your inner dialogue, the moment you refuse to entertain anything that does not serve your highest vision, you set yourself on an entirely different path. This is not about lying to yourself. It is about aligning with a greater truth. The truth that your inner world creates your outer world. Try this for a moment. Speak to yourself as the person you desire to be. Right now, close your eyes and say, I am successful, I am confident, I am capable. Everything I desire is already mine. Feel the shift in energy. It is not mere words, it is a command, a declaration that overrides every past limitation. Your body responds, your emotions shift, and if you persist, your external world will rearrange itself to match this new assumption. Some may argue, but my reality tells me otherwise. My circumstances contradict my words. This is the illusion. Reality is not something separate from you. It is the product of what you have continuously accepted as true. If you wish to change it, you must hold firm in your new self-talk despite what the physical world currently reflects. It is like planting a seed in the ground. You do not dig it up each day to check if it has grown. You trust that beneath the soil, an invisible process is taking place. The same is true for your words. They are forming the unseen forces that will later appear as visible, tangible results. If for even 3 days you discipline your self-talk, you will notice a shift. At first it may feel unnatural. After all, the mind is used to following the same old patterns, but do not waver. Correct yourself in the moment. If an old habit of doubt arises, replace it immediately with a powerful truth. No, I do not entertain this anymore. I am abundant. I am loved. I am powerful. Speak to yourself as if you were speaking to a dear friend, one whom you deeply believe in. Something profound happens when you do this. Your energy changes. The way people respond to you shifts. Opportunities that once seemed out of reach appear effortlessly. Why? Because you have changed the one thing that truly matters, your self-perception. And when you shift your perception, everything else follows. You do not need permission to change your life. You do not need external validation to believe in your worth. The only thing required is your decision to speak to yourself in a new way, to affirm what you desire instead of what you fear, instead of what you are feared. The world will not change first, you must change first. The external will always bow to the internal. From this moment forward, commit to speaking only what serves you. When you look in the mirror, see the person you are becoming. When you walk into a room, carry yourself with the knowing that you are enough. And when the mind attempts to return to its old ways, gently remind it, I have already chosen my path. I speak only in alignment with my highest self. The world listens to the way you talk to yourself. Make sure it hears something extraordinary. The secret to transforming your life is not in waiting, hoping, or longing. It is in assuming the feeling of already having what you desire. The world does not respond to wishful thinking, it responds to conviction, to a state of being so absolute that reality has no choice but to align with it. Every thought you consistently hold, every feeling you embody, and every word you speak is creating the world around you. If you desire a change, you must begin within, not by asking if it will come, but by assuming it already has. I am is the most powerful phrase you will ever use. For whatever follows it becomes your truth. When you say, I am wealthy, I am loved, or I am successful, you are not making empty statements. You are setting the foundation for your reality. But the words alone are not enough. They must be backed by the feeling, the certainty, the knowing that it is already yours. If you only say the words while feeling doubt, lack, or desperation, you are still affirming the absence of what you want. Instead, you must dwell in the feeling of already having it, as though it is an undeniable fact. Imagine for a moment that your desire has already been fulfilled. How would you feel? How would you walk, speak, and think if you already had what you once sought? Your job is to embody that version of yourself now. The mind does not differentiate between what is real and what is imagined. It simply responds to the dominant state you hold. If you hold the feeling of already having your desire, your subconscious accepts it as truth, and reality shifts accordingly. Doubt will try to creep in. Your senses may tempt you to believe that nothing has changed, but you must persist beyond what the eyes can see. The outer world is only a reflection of past thoughts and beliefs. It is not fixed, and it is not in control. You are. The moment you assume the feeling of already having what you desire, you set a new cause in motion, and everything necessary to bring it into reality begins to unfold. Think of it this way. If you were to act like a person who is deeply loved, successful, or abundant, what would you do differently? Would you carry yourself with more confidence? Would you make decisions from a place of security instead of fear? This is the key. To not wait for the external proof before feeling it, but to feel it first and allow the external to follow. For many, this concept feels difficult because they are conditioned to believe only in what they can see. But everything in existence first began as an unseen thought, a feeling, an assumption held so firmly that it eventually became tangible. Every great invention, every success story, every transformation in history began with someone assuming it to be possible, feeling it as real before any physical evidence appeared. You must do the same. Speak to yourself in the language of certainty. When you wake up, affirm, I am already living my ideal life. When doubt whispers, silence it with, it is done. I need no proof, for I already know it to be true. And most importantly, move through your days embodying the person who has already received. The more you remain in this state, the faster reality bends to your new assumption. This is not a practice to try for a moment and then return to old habits. This is a way of being. The more consistently you assume the feeling, the more natural it becomes. Soon it is no longer something you are trying to believe, it is simply who you are. And once that happens, the world has no choice but to mirror it back to you. You do not attract what you want, you attract what you are. So be it now, assume it fully and let reality follow. For 3 days, you must take absolute control of your mind. You must reject every thought, every feeling, and every word that aligns with the old version of yourself, the one that doubts, fears, and believes in limitations. This is not a casual exercise, it is a full commitment to stepping into a new state of being, where only what you desire is entertained, spoken, and affirmed. You are not merely hoping for a better reality, you are claiming it, declaring it, and refusing to accept anything less. The mind has been conditioned to accept lack, struggle, and uncertainty as natural. It has been trained to dwell on fears, to replay past disappointments, and to anticipate worst-case scenarios. But if you wish to see transformation, you must break this cycle. You must become so firm in your decision to embrace a new reality that there is no room left for the old to exist. It may try to creep back in, whispering doubts and reminding you of past failures, but you must stand unwavering. For 3 days, refuse to give energy to anything that contradicts your highest vision. Speak only of what you want, not what you fear. If you catch yourself saying, "I hope this happens," replace it with, "It is already mine." If you find yourself thinking, "I'm not sure if this will work," shift immediately to, "Everything is working in my favor." This is not about ignoring reality. It is about commanding it to align with your new assumptions. The more you persist in this mindset, the more your subconscious will accept it as truth. And once the subconscious believes it, reality has no choice but to conform. Understand this, the old version of you will not go without resistance. It will try to pull you back into old patterns of worry, self-doubt, and hesitation. But every time you reject these thoughts, you weaken their hold. Every time you replace a limiting belief with an empowering one, you rewire your mind. At first, it may feel like a battle, but soon it will become effortless. The new way of thinking will take root, and suddenly what once seemed impossible will feel natural. Most people do not change because they are unwilling to be this disciplined with their minds. They let their thoughts drift wherever they please, unaware that each thought is shaping their reality. But you are not most people. You have the awareness now, and with awareness comes power. You no longer speak of struggle, you speak of success. You no longer identify with lack, you embody abundance. And when you do this consistently, the world around you must shift to match. For 3 days, live as if you are already the person you desire to be. Walk with confidence, speak with certainty, and think only thoughts that serve your highest vision. If a doubt arises, dismiss it immediately. If an old fear tries to return, replace it with faith. Train your mind to accept only that which aligns with the life you are creating. By the end of these 3 days, something will have changed. You will feel lighter, more powerful, more in control of your destiny. You will notice that people respond to you differently, that opportunities seem to appear effortlessly, that situations begin unfolding in your favor. This is not a coincidence, it is the result of your inner transformation. But do not stop after 3 days. Let this become your new way of being. Let every moment be a declaration of the life you have chosen. The past no longer defines you. The old doubts hold no power. You are stepping into something greater, something higher. You are becoming the version of yourself that has already won. Reject the old, embrace the new. Speak only what you wish to see, and watch as your world transforms before your very eyes. Your mind is the most obedient servant you will ever have. It listens to everything you say, absorbs everything you believe, and follows every instruction you give it, whether consciously or unconsciously. It does not argue, it does not question, and it does not distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. It simply takes what you feed it and reflects it back to you in the form of your reality. The question is, what are you feeding it? Most people speak to themselves in a way that reinforces their struggles. They say, "I am not good enough, I always fail, nothing ever works out for me," and then wonder why life continues to present them with situations that confirm these statements. What they do not realize is that their subconscious mind is merely obeying the orders it has been given. If you continually tell yourself a story of limitation, lack, and failure, your mind will make sure that story becomes your experience. But here lies the power. You can change the story at any moment. You can speak to yourself in a way that commands a new reality. Instead of saying, I am always struggling, you can declare, I am successful in all that I do. Instead of reinforcing the idea that you are unlucky, you can affirm, everything is working in my favor. These statements may feel unnatural at first, but that is only because the old programming has been deeply ingrained. Yet just as the mind was conditioned to accept negativity, it can be reconditioned to accept abundance, success, and joy. Your subconscious does not argue. It simply accepts what is repeated with feeling. If you affirm something with conviction, your mind will eventually believe it, and once it does, your external world will shift to reflect that belief. This is why it is crucial to speak to yourself as the person you intend to be, not the person you used to be. If you desire success, speak as if you are already successful. If you desire confidence, affirm that you are already confident. Do not wait for external proof. Create the proof internally, and the world will follow. The key is consistency. You cannot say an affirmation once and expect immediate change. Just as a seed takes time to grow, your new thoughts must be nurtured. Every time you reinforce a positive belief, you water that seed. Every time you reject an old, limiting thought, you remove the weeds that have been choking your growth. Eventually, the new belief will take root so deeply that it will become second nature. And when that happens, transformation is inevitable. You must also be mindful of how you speak about yourself in casual conversation. Many people affirm negativity without realizing it. They say, I'm always tired. I'm terrible with money. I can never catch a break. These statements may seem harmless, but to the subconscious, they are commands. Each time you say them, you strengthen that reality. Instead, replace these statements with empowering ones. Say, I have endless energy. I am financially abundant. I am always in the right place at the right time. Your words have power, but it is the feeling behind them that gives them life. Do not just say the words, believe them, embody them, feel them as real. When you say, I am successful, let that success fill every cell of your being. When you say, I am deeply loved, feel the warmth of that love surrounding you. The deeper you feel it, the faster it becomes your reality. For the next few days, pay close attention to how you speak to yourself. Become the master of your inner dialogue. If you catch yourself speaking in a way that contradicts your desired reality, stop immediately and correct it. Do not let negative words slip by unnoticed. Train your mind to accept only that which serves you, only that which aligns with the life you wish to live. Your subconscious is always listening. It is always obeying. Give it the right instructions, and it will create the life you have always dreamed of. Speak as the person you intend to be, and soon you will realize that you have become them. Gratitude is the final and most powerful seal of manifestation. It is the act of claiming what is already yours, knowing that it has been given, and resting in the certainty that it is unfolding in perfect timing. When you end every internal conversation with gratitude, you affirm that your desires are not something you are waiting for, but something that has already been delivered to you in the unseen realm. Most people approach their desires with a sense of lack. They wish, they hope, they pray with desperation, unknowingly affirming that they do not yet have what they seek. They say, I want more money, but beneath those words is the energy of lack. They say, I wish I could find love, but hidden in that wish is the feeling of loneliness. The subconscious mind, always listening, picks up on the dominant feeling behind the words, not just the words themselves. If you feel like something is missing, your reality will reflect that absence, but gratitude shifts everything. It tells the mind, this is already mine. It replaces longing with fulfillment, doubt with faith, and worry with peace. When you say thank you, you are not asking, you are receiving. You are confirming that what you desire exists and that it is already working its way into your physical reality. This is why gratitude carries immense power. It is the language of completion, the vibration of already having. Imagine you have placed an order at a restaurant. Once you've ordered, you do not sit there anxiously wondering if the food will come. You trust that it is being prepared. You do not get up and ask the chef if they have started cooking. You do not doubt whether the ingredients exist. You simply wait, knowing that it is on its way. This is the same energy you must bring to your manifestations. Once you have declared what you want, your only job is to align yourself with the certainty of its arrival, and gratitude is the most powerful way to do that. Every time you affirm your desire, seal it with gratitude. Do not just say, "I am wealthy," but follow it with, "Thank you for my financial abundance." Do not simply say, "I am loved," but affirm, "Thank you for the love that surrounds me." Even before you see a single change in your external world, express gratitude as if it has already happened. This sends a clear signal to your subconscious: this is done. There is no doubt, no hesitation, only complete trust. The more you practice this, the more natural it becomes. At first, your mind may resist. It may try to remind you of your current circumstances, pointing to the lack, the delays, the seeming absence of what you desire. But your job is to persist. Whenever doubt creeps in, respond with gratitude. If your mind says, "But I don't see any changes," reply with, "Thank you that everything is unfolding perfectly." If a thought of fear arises, replace it with, "Thank you that all is well." Eventually, the subconscious will accept this as truth, and when it does, reality will shift to match. Gratitude is not just a mental exercise. Feel it deeply. Let it wash over you like a wave. When you say thank you, do not say it mechanically. Feel the warmth of appreciation in your heart. Feel the joy of already having. Feel the relief of knowing that everything you've asked for is already yours. The deeper you feel gratitude, the faster your manifestations will unfold. For the next 3 days, make gratitude your constant companion. At the end of every internal conversation, no matter what you are affirming, seal it with gratitude. Wake up with the words, "Thank you for this new day filled with blessings." Go to sleep with, "Thank you for all the good that is flowing into my life." Throughout the day, whenever you think of your desires, follow the thought with, "Thank you." By the end of these 3 days, something will shift within you. You will feel lighter, more at peace, more confident that what you desire is already yours. This is the power of gratitude. It transforms not just your external reality, but your internal state. And once you master this, you will understand that manifestation is not about chasing, begging, or struggling. It is about knowing, trusting, and receiving. Say thank you, and watch as your world transforms before your very eyes.
You don't need to beg for anyone's attention, chase their approval, or play games to keep them around. It's time to stop. Stop texting out of desperation. Stop chasing those who won't give you the time of day. Stop letting your self-worth be tied to someone else's behavior. You need to understand something deep down: you are enough. Right now, just as you are. Your worth isn't dependent on anyone else's opinion, their affection, or their attention. If someone can't see that, let them go. Because the right people will see you, will recognize your value, and they won't make you beg for it. The moment you stop chasing, the moment you stop playing games, something powerful happens. You reclaim your peace. You reclaim your energy. And when you stop sending texts just to get a response, you create space for meaningful connections to enter your life. Real relationships, real love are never about begging or chasing. They're about respect. They're about authenticity. And if you aren't being respected, it's time to walk away. You don't need to prove yourself. You don't need to beg or chase after someone who isn't giving you the same energy. Your confidence, your self-assurance is magnetic. It's time to stop seeking approval from anyone. You don't need anyone else to tell you that you're worthy. When you know your worth, you don't have to chase and you don't have to beg. You'll be amazed at how much peace you find when you stop playing those games. You'll find that when you focus on your own life, your own growth, everything that's meant for you will come naturally. Stop engaging in the drama. Stop being part of the chaos. You deserve peace. You deserve balance. And that is what you'll attract when you stop begging, chasing, and playing games. Remember this, the greatest power you have is in your silence, your detachment, and your ability to walk away. You're not here to chase anything. You're here to live on your terms. And when you live with that kind of power, the right people will respect you. The right things will come to you. So no more begging, no more chasing, no more texting out of desperation. Stop playing games, be who you are, and watch everything you deserve fall into place. Self-worth is the foundation upon which everything in your life should be built. It's the very essence of who you are, and it is not something that can be earned or taken away by others. In a world where we are constantly bombarded with external validation, it's easy to lose sight of this truth. But you need to understand something fundamental: you are enough, exactly as you are, without needing to beg, chase, or play games for anyone's attention, affection, or approval. Too often, people believe that their worth is tied to how others see them. The idea that we must prove our value through actions or words to gain love, acceptance, or recognition is deeply ingrained in society. But this belief is a lie. Your value is not something that can be bargained for or negotiated. It's intrinsic, embedded in the very core of your being. It's not dependent on how someone else feels about you or whether they reciprocate your affections or desires. When you understand that your worth is inherent, you stop measuring yourself by the approval of others. You stop chasing after people who don't see your value. You stop thinking that you need to beg for someone's time or affection, or that you need to play games to earn their attention. When you know who you are, when you understand your worth, you no longer feel the need to prove anything to anyone. Think about how much time and energy we waste chasing after things that aren't meant for us. We chase relationships, recognition, and success because we think these things will validate us, will prove to us that we matter. But the truth is, no external validation can ever fill that void if you don't already recognize your worth within yourself. You are not defined by the job you have, the relationship you're in, or the number of people who like or follow you. You are defined by the strength of your character, your integrity, your kindness, and your ability to stand firm in your truth. It's incredibly liberating when you realize that you don't need to chase anyone or anything. When you no longer feel the need to win people over or convince them of your value, you free yourself from the shackles of insecurity and doubt. You stop wasting time and energy on things that drain you. Instead, you begin to focus on what truly matters: your growth, your peace, your happiness. No one is going to value you more than you value yourself. This is a critical truth that too many people overlook. If you are constantly chasing after others for their approval, you are telling them that you don't believe in your own worth. You're giving away your power. The moment you stop begging for attention or chasing people who don't appreciate you, you begin to reclaim that power. You begin to radiate a quiet confidence that others can't help but notice. People are drawn to that energy because it's rare and authentic. It's magnetic. When you know your worth, you don't feel the need to play games. You don't have to engage in manipulative behavior or put on a facade to get someone's attention. You show up as yourself, unapologetically, and if someone is meant to be in your life, they will see that and appreciate you for who you are. If not, you let them go, without hard feelings, without resentment. You understand that your value isn't dependent on their opinion of you. The reality is that when you constantly seek external validation, you are giving away the power to define yourself. It's like you are handing your self-worth to others, giving them control over how you feel about yourself. But when you recognize that your value comes from within, you take that power back. You set the terms for how you are treated. You no longer feel like you have to chase after people or try to make them see you in a certain light. You simply are, and that is enough. The moment you start to believe in your own worth, you stop wasting time on things that are not aligned with your true self. You stop engaging in relationships, situations, and environments that don't serve you. You stop allowing people to treat you in ways that don't honor your value. This shift in mindset allows you to make room for the people and opportunities that truly resonate with who you are at your core. Self-worth is about recognizing that you are deserving of respect, love, and kindness, not because of anything you do, but because of who you are. You don't need to beg for respect or chase after someone's love. When you know your worth, you create boundaries that protect your energy. You allow people to show you the respect and care you deserve, or you walk away from them. When you embrace your intrinsic worth, you stop measuring your value based on external circumstances or other people's actions. You stop looking for validation outside of yourself because you understand that you are already whole. You are enough, just as you are. And when you recognize this, you will find that the right people, the right opportunities, and the right circumstances will come into your life without you having to chase after them. Your worth doesn't have to be earned, because it has always been yours. Detachment is one of the most powerful tools you can use in life, especially when it comes to freeing yourself from the constant need for validation and external approval. When you let go of the need to control outcomes and stop chasing after things, people, or results, you create a space where the right things, the right people, and the right opportunities can enter your life naturally. It's a paradox that many struggle to understand. By letting go, you actually gain more. This concept of detachment isn't about abandoning your goals or desires. Rather, it's about trusting that what is meant for you will come to you without force, manipulation, or desperation. In today's world, we are often taught to chase after what we want. From relationships to career success, we are conditioned to believe that we must push and strive constantly to get what we desire. But the truth is, the more we chase, the more we push away the things we truly want. Why? Because desperation is a powerful energy that repels what we seek. When we are attached to a specific outcome or fixated on a particular person, we are essentially sending out a signal of lack, of neediness. This energy is not attractive. It creates tension, anxiety, and a sense of urgency that pushes people and opportunities further away. On the other hand, is about releasing that sense of need. It's about trusting the process and having faith that what's meant for you will come to you in its own time. Detaching doesn't mean you stop caring or working toward your goals. It simply means you stop obsessing over the outcome. You stop clinging to a specific person, situation, or result, and instead allow the universe to bring you what's in alignment with your highest good. This shift in mindset is powerful because it frees you from the mental and emotional strain of constantly trying to control everything. When you detach, you create a sense of space in your life, space for new opportunities, space for growth, and space for peace. When we are constantly attached to an outcome or someone's approval, we are filling up that space with anxiety, worry, and frustration. We become so focused on the end result that we lose sight of the present moment, of the beauty of the journey. Detachment allows us to stay grounded in the present, where we can appreciate what we already have, while still keeping our eyes open for what's next. The power of detachment also lies in the fact that it helps you cultivate a deep sense of self-reliance. You stop relying on external sources for validation and start looking within. You realize that your worth is not determined by how others see you or whether your efforts immediately bear fruit. When you no longer depend on the approval of others, you free yourself from the anxiety of seeking it. This internal validation is far more powerful than anything anyone else can give you, because it is unshakable. When you let go of the need for validation, you become more authentic. You begin to make decisions based on what feels right to you, rather than what others think or expect. You stop making choices to please others or to fit into someone else's mold. Instead, you begin to live from a place of true alignment with your values, your purpose, and your desires. This authenticity is magnetic. It draws people toward you who resonate with your true self, rather than the version of yourself that you were trying to portray in order to gain approval. Detaching from outcomes also allows you to cultivate patience. We live in an instant gratification world where we are used to getting what we want immediately, but not everything happens on our timeline. Sometimes the things we want most take time to materialize. When you detach, you release the pressure of trying to force things to happen. You allow things to unfold in their own time, trusting that the right people, situations, and opportunities will come to you when the time is right. This kind of patience is powerful because it removes the frustration and disappointment that often come when things don't happen according to our plans. The beauty of detachment is that it brings a sense of freedom. When you stop chasing after outcomes, you stop living in a constant state of fear and anxiety about what might happen. You let go of the worry that things might not turn out the way you hope. You stop holding on to things that are no longer serving you, whether that's a relationship, a job, or a situation that's causing you stress. In this freedom, you begin to feel lighter, more at ease. You are no longer weighed down by the need to control everything, and you begin to move through life with a sense of grace and confidence. Detachment also fosters a deeper connection to the present moment. When we are constantly fixated on a future outcome, we miss out on the richness of the now. We fail to appreciate the beauty and lessons that lie in the present moment. Detachment allows us to be fully present, to engage in life with a sense of curiosity and openness. When we are no longer attached to a specific result, we are able to see things more clearly, make better decisions, and find joy in the journey rather than just focusing on the destination. It's not about giving up or losing interest in your desires. It's about trusting that the right things will come to you at the right time. It's about letting go of the need for validation and releasing your grip on outcomes. By doing so, you create space in your life for what truly matters. You stop chasing, and instead you begin to attract. The power of detachment lies in the freedom it brings: freedom from anxiety, from the need to control, and from the pressure to constantly prove yourself. When you let go, you open yourself up to receiving everything that is meant for you. Respect is the cornerstone of every meaningful relationship, and it's essential to recognize that true connections are founded on mutual respect, not manipulation, games, or seeking approval. Unfortunately, many people get caught in the cycle of seeking validation from others, often resorting to texting or engaging in behavior that comes from a place of desperation rather than self-assurance. But to build relationships that are truly fulfilling, it's crucial to break free from these patterns and understand the importance of respecting yourself and others. Respect begins with you. If you want to attract and nurture relationships that are built on a solid foundation, you must first respect yourself. This means acknowledging your own worth, recognizing your value, and setting boundaries that protect your time, energy, and emotions. When you truly respect yourself, you stop seeking approval from others, and you stop compromising your integrity or dignity to gain their attention. You know that your worth isn't dependent on someone else's opinion of you. Respect means honoring each other's feelings, desires, and boundaries. It means treating others with kindness, understanding, and empathy, and not manipulating them to get what you want. Many people, however, fall into the trap of playing games in their relationships. They text out of a sense of urgency, to fill a void, or to get a reaction. They may think that by being overly available or using certain tactics, they will be able to gain someone's affection or attention. But the truth is, these behaviors rarely result in genuine connections. Instead, they often create confusion, frustration, and distance. When you text out of desperation, you are signaling that you don't believe in your own worth. You're showing that you're willing to chase after validation and approval, which sets the tone for the relationship. People can sense when someone is not confident in themselves, and this often leads to a lack of respect. The more you chase, the less respect you earn. Relationships that are built on manipulation or approval seeking are shallow and unsatisfying. They lack the depth, trust, and understanding that come when both people honor and value each other equally. On the other hand, when you hold your ground and refuse to text out of desperation, you set the tone for a relationship built on true respect. This doesn't mean you should play hard to get or withhold communication as a form of manipulation. Instead, it means that you recognize that your time and energy are valuable, and you won't waste them on behaviors that don't align with your self-worth. When you respect yourself, You can engage in relationships with a sense of balance, knowing that you don't need to prove anything or chase after anyone. You are enough just as you are. Holding your ground also means setting clear boundaries. Boundaries are not walls, they are the guidelines that you establish to protect your emotional, mental, and physical space. When you respect yourself, you define what is acceptable and what isn't in your relationships. You don't allow anyone to manipulate or take advantage of you, and you don't engage in behaviors that undermine your own dignity. When both parties in a relationship respect each other's boundaries, there is a greater sense of trust, understanding, and emotional security. When respect is at the heart of a relationship, there's no need for games or manipulation. The need for validation fades because both people understand that their worth is inherent, not contingent on the other person's approval. There's a sense of mutual appreciation, where both individuals feel valued for who they are, not for what they can give or do for each other. Genuine connections are formed when people can be themselves without fear of judgment or rejection, knowing that the other person respects them for who they truly are. When you stop texting out of desperation and start respecting both yourself and the other person, you allow space for healthier communication. In a relationship built on respect, communication becomes clear, honest, and free of manipulation. You don't need to play games or send mixed signals because you can express your needs, desires, and feelings openly and directly. This honesty fosters trust, and trust is the bedrock of any lasting relationship. It's important to remember that respecting yourself doesn't mean being cold or distant. It doesn't mean ignoring someone or withholding affection. It means recognizing that you are worthy of being treated with dignity and kindness. When you hold your ground, you show others that you value yourself and your time. You also set a standard for how you expect to be treated in return. The respect you show yourself sets the example for how others should treat you. Relationships based on respect are the ones that stand the test of time. They are the ones where both people feel secure, valued, and loved without the need for constant reassurance or manipulation. When respect is the foundation, both individuals are able to grow and thrive independently while supporting each other in their journey. There's no need to chase, no need to beg for attention, and no need for constant approval. Instead, both people show up as their authentic selves, understanding that they deserve to be loved and appreciated for who they are, not for what they can do to please the other. So stop texting out of desperation. Stop seeking validation from others and start building relationships based on respect. Hold your ground and trust that the right people will come into your life when you stop chasing after those who don't recognize your value. When you respect yourself and others, you open the door to deeper, more meaningful connections that are rooted in mutual appreciation and understanding. These are the relationships that will bring you joy, fulfillment, and lasting happiness. When you stop seeking approval from others, you take a bold and empowering step towards personal freedom. Seeking constant validation from others is a habit that keeps you tethered to external expectations, causing you to lose sight of your own self-worth and identity. But when you decide to stop chasing after someone's approval, you send a powerful message: you are confident in who you are, and you don't need anyone's validation to feel complete. This shift in mindset is transformative and has the potential to change your life in profound ways. From an early age, many of us are conditioned to seek approval from others. Whether it's from our parents, teachers, peers, or even society, we're often told that our value is tied to how others perceive us. We learn to measure our self-worth by how much love, attention, or recognition we receive from outside sources. As we grow older, this pattern becomes ingrained, and we find ourselves constantly chasing after approval, whether it's through seeking praise at work, trying to fit into certain social circles, or altering our behaviors to please others. This constant need for validation only serves to undermine our sense of self. The more we chase after approval, the less we believe in our own worth. We start to depend on the opinions of others to determine how we feel about ourselves, and this creates an unstable foundation for our self-esteem. When someone praises us, we feel good, but when we don't receive the recognition we crave, we begin to doubt ourselves. This roller coaster of external validation is exhausting and ultimately leaves us feeling unfulfilled. The moment you decide to stop seeking approval is the moment you begin to reclaim your power. You start to realize that your worth isn't dependent on how others see you. It's intrinsic. It comes from within. You are already whole, already valuable, and already enough. You don't need to prove anything to anyone because your value isn't something that can be given or taken away by external forces. It's something that you define for yourself. This realization is liberating. It frees you from the constant pressure to conform or to chase after the approval of others. You no longer feel the need to please people just to feel good about yourself. Instead, you focus on what truly matters, staying true to who you are, following your own path, and making decisions based on your values and desires, not based on the approval or opinions of others. When you stop seeking approval, you begin to make choices that align with your authentic self. You no longer feel the need to compromise your integrity or change who you are to fit into someone else's expectations. Whether it's in your personal relationships, your career, or your social circles, you start to embrace your individuality and trust your own judgment. You know that you don't need to seek external validation to feel validated. The confidence that comes from this realization allows you to live authentically and unapologetically. This shift in perspective also empowers you to set healthier boundaries. When you no longer seek approval from others, you become less likely to tolerate behavior that doesn't align with your values. You stop saying yes to things that drain you or make you uncomfortable just to gain approval. Instead, you prioritize your well-being and make decisions based on what is best for you. By setting clear boundaries, you teach others how to treat you, and you create space for relationships and opportunities that are built on mutual respect and understanding. Furthermore, stopping the cycle of seeking approval enhances your mental and emotional well-being. When you no longer rely on external validation, you free yourself from the anxiety, stress, and uncertainty that come with constantly trying to please others. You stop living in a state of fear of judgment, fear of rejection, or fear of not being good enough. Instead, you begin to live from a place of inner peace, knowing that your value is not contingent on anyone else's approval. The confidence that arises from not seeking validation also increases your resilience. You become less affected by criticism or negative opinions because you no longer tie your self-worth to what others think of you. While constructive feedback can still be valuable, you no longer take it personally or allow it to define your sense of self. You understand that others' opinions are just that, opinions. They do not dictate your worth. When you stop chasing and begging for approval, you also create room for genuine relationships. Authentic connections are based on mutual respect and understanding, not on the need to impress or gain approval. By showing up as your true self, you attract people who appreciate you for who you are, not for who you pretend to be. These are the relationships that are built on trust, support, and a deep sense of belonging. You no longer feel the need to perform or seek constant validation. Instead, you can simply be yourself and allow those who truly resonate with you to come into your life. One of the most powerful aspects of stopping the quest for approval is that it frees you to take risks and pursue your passions without fear of judgment. When you no longer care about what others think, you're able to follow your dreams with confidence, even if they don't align with societal expectations or the opinions of others. You stop playing it safe and start taking bold steps toward the life you truly want to create. This is where real growth happens, when you stop holding yourself back out of fear of not being approved. Stopping the search for approval is one of the most empowering decisions you can make. It allows you to reclaim your power, strengthen your confidence, and live authentically. By no longer seeking validation from others, you create the freedom to make decisions that align with your values, set healthy boundaries, and build genuine relationships. Most importantly, you recognize that your worth is not determined by anyone else's opinion. It's something that comes from within. When you stop chasing approval, you finally step into the fullness of who you are, and that is where true fulfillment lies. Words hold immense power. They can inspire, motivate, heal, and connect us to one another. But despite their power, words alone mean very little without the force of action behind them. Far too often, people say the right things without ever following through. And while their words may sound convincing in the moment, they fail to create any lasting impact. True power lies not in what we say, but in what we do. When you pair your words with intentional, purposeful actions, you step into a space of authenticity and integrity that commands respect and fosters trust. The gap between words and actions is where people often get stuck. It's easy to say things that sound good, but actions speak louder than any verbal promise. Think about how many times you've heard someone say they'll change, or they'll do something for you, only for nothing to happen. How does that make you feel? Chances are, the words lose their meaning because they weren't backed by real effort or follow-through. When people speak without action, they undermine their own credibility and the strength of their relationships. The old saying, "Talk is cheap," exists for a reason. Words without action are just noise, empty and fleeting. To truly embody power, you must align your words with your actions. It's not enough to say you're going to do something. There must be tangible results that prove your commitment. This alignment between words and actions builds trust, which is one of the most valuable things in any relationship, whether personal or professional. Trust is built on consistency. When your actions match your words, you create an environment where others feel safe, valued, and respected. On the flip side, when there's a disconnect between what you say and what you do, you erode that trust and can leave others feeling disappointed, hurt, or even betrayed. The key to making your actions speak louder than your words lies in being intentional with what you do. Intentionality means being clear about your intentions and then acting on them with purpose. It means not saying things just because they sound good, but because you genuinely believe in them and are committed to following through. Intentional actions have weight. They communicate to the world that you are not someone who takes promises lightly or who operates based on impulse. Every move you make is aligned with your values and your deeper sense of purpose. This level of intentionality also requires accountability. It's easy to say things, but it's much harder to follow through on them. When you speak with purpose and then act with purpose, you hold yourself accountable for the outcomes. This means taking responsibility for the promises you make and owning up to your actions, good or bad. When you make a commitment, it's not just a verbal promise, it's a commitment to act. And when you fall short, true power lies in acknowledging that and making the necessary adjustments. When you take action, you're also demonstrating your dedication to your words, which sets you apart from those who only speak without substance. The world is full of talkers, people who will tell you what they plan to do, how they'll help, how they'll improve, but never actually make it happen. The true leaders and difference makers are those who can translate their words into action and are consistently striving to improve the world around them. They let their results speak for themselves, and they understand that lasting change is built on what they do, not just what they say. Taking action means being willing to put in the effort, even when it's difficult. It means showing up when you don't feel like it, staying committed when things get tough, and doing the hard work required to make your words a reality. Words may inspire others to act, but it's your actions that set the example. When you consistently act with integrity, when you deliver on your promises, you motivate others to do the same. People are inspired not just by what you say, but by what you do. Your actions encourage others to take their own steps toward fulfillment, achievement, and growth. Action is the key to breaking free from inaction and stagnation. We all have goals, dreams, and desires, but it's easy to get caught up in overthinking or talking about them without ever making progress. This is where the power of action becomes clear. Taking that first step, however small, is often the hardest, but once you begin to act, momentum builds. Action creates forward movement, and with each step, you move closer to your goal. The key is to stop waiting for the perfect time or the perfect words and simply take action, even if you don't have all the answers. It's also essential to realize that taking action doesn't always mean making grand, sweeping gestures. Often it's the small, consistent actions that make the biggest impact over time. Whether it's showing up every day, putting in the effort, or being there for someone when they need it, these small actions accumulate to create significant change. The consistency of your actions over time speaks volumes, and this consistency is what earns you respect and builds trust. People will remember your actions long after your words fade away. To truly harness the power of action, you must also be aware of your mindset. Taking action requires a mindset that is driven by purpose, discipline, and focus. It means staying committed to your goals even when things don't go as planned. It requires resilience and the ability to learn from failures rather than giving up. When you cultivate a mindset that values action, you align your words with your deeds in a way that maximizes your impact on the world. Words without action are hollow and meaningless. If you want to step into true power, stop playing games with your words. Be intentional in everything you do. Let your actions be the proof of your commitment and the reflection of your values. When you live with integrity and consistently back up your words with purposeful action, you create trust, inspire others, and move closer to achieving your goals. True power is in the action you take, not in the words you speak. In a world full of chaos, negativity, and distractions, it's easy to get caught up in drama. The temptation to engage in conflicts, arguments, or manipulations often feels overwhelming. And before you know it, you're trapped in a cycle of emotional turmoil that drains your energy and peace of mind. But the truth is, you deserve peace, not drama. You deserve a life where balance and tranquility are the foundation, and where you are not constantly pulled into unnecessary conflicts or toxic situations. When you stop engaging in cycles of drama and manipulation, you open up space for peace to settle into your life, and the right people, those who truly resonate with your energy, will begin to respect and gravitate toward that calm presence. Drama is insidious. It often starts small, an offhand comment, a misunderstanding, or a misplaced word, and before long, it spirals into something far bigger than it ever needed to be. You may find yourself repeatedly drawn into arguments or conflicts that, deep down, you know are not worth your time or emotional investment. These cycles of drama drain you. They rob you of your energy, disrupt your sense of calm, and cause unnecessary stress. Over time, they create patterns of behavior that keep you stuck in a loop of tension and uncertainty. You may feel like you are constantly reacting, trying to put out fires, but the truth is, these fires are not your responsibility to extinguish. The first step in breaking free from these cycles is to recognize that you have a choice. You don't have to engage in every conflict, every argument, or every drama-filled situation that comes your way. You are not obligated to respond to manipulation, negativity, or petty games. You are in control of your emotional state, and you can choose how you react to the situations around you. When you decide to stop engaging in drama, you are taking back your power. You are no longer allowing others to dictate your emotional experience, and you are no longer allowing negativity to infiltrate your life. This doesn't mean you should avoid confrontation altogether or allow people to walk all over you. It means that you choose your battles wisely and approach situations with a mindset of calm and clarity. Instead of reacting impulsively, take a moment to assess whether the situation is worth your time and energy. Is it a genuine issue that needs to be addressed? Or is it simply a distraction, a game that someone else is trying to pull you into? The more you recognize the difference, the easier it becomes to disengage from drama and stay focused on what truly matters. When you prioritize peace over drama, you are making a conscious decision to protect your mental and emotional well-being. You no longer tolerate situations that compromise your inner peace or disturb your sense of balance. You begin to set healthy boundaries that prevent others from dragging you into toxic situations or manipulating your emotions. It's essential to understand that not everyone is entitled to your time, attention, or energy. By learning to say no, you preserve your peace and protect yourself from unnecessary stress. This shift toward peace also involves letting go of the need for validation from others. Drama often arises when people seek attention, approval, or validation in unhealthy ways. Instead of seeking constant approval or needing to be right, you learn to be secure in yourself and your decisions. You trust your own judgment, and you no longer need to prove anything to anyone. When you stop engaging in cycles of drama, you stop chasing after external validation and start focusing on the internal sense of peace and satisfaction that comes from knowing you are enough just as you are. Another crucial aspect of creating peace in your life is surrounding yourself with people who respect your energy and value your boundaries. The right people, the ones who are aligned with your values and vision for your life, will support your desire for peace. They will respect your boundaries and will not try to drag you into unnecessary conflicts. These are the people who uplift you, encourage you, and bring positive energy into your life. When you stop participating in toxic drama, you clear the space for these types of relationships to flourish. You attract individuals who are also focused on growth, peace, and personal integrity, and who do not have time for petty games or manipulation. As you focus on creating peace, you'll find that your own energy shifts. Instead of reacting to situations with anger, frustration, or defensiveness, you begin to approach challenges with a sense of calm and resilience. This shift allows you to handle difficult situations more gracefully, without letting them throw you off balance. You'll be able to communicate more effectively, listen more attentively, and navigate conflict with a level-headed approach. As a result, you'll find that the people around you begin to respond to you differently. They'll notice your calm presence, and they'll start to respect your energy, recognizing that you are someone who chooses peace over drama. Creating peace in your life also involves taking care of your inner world. You must invest time in nurturing your mental, emotional, and physical well-being. Practicing mindfulness, meditation, and self-care routines helps to strengthen your ability to stay calm in the face of adversity. The more you cultivate inner peace, the more it will radiate outward, attracting positive energy and people who resonate with your peaceful state of mind. When you choose peace, you also choose to let go of the need for control. Drama often stems from a desire to control people or situations, but the reality is that we cannot control the actions or behaviors of others. The only thing we can control is how we respond. By relinquishing the need for control and focusing on your own peace, you free yourself from the stress of trying to manage every situation and person around you. You begin to trust that everything will unfold as it's meant to, and that you are capable of handling whatever comes your way with grace and composure. You deserve peace, not drama. When you stop engaging in cycles of drama and manipulation, you reclaim your power and create space for calm, balance, and positivity in your life. By setting healthy boundaries, letting go of the need for validation, and surrounding yourself with supportive people, you can create an environment where peace thrives. As you cultivate inner peace, you attract the right energy into your life, people who respect and appreciate the tranquility you bring. Choose peace and watch how your life transforms. In conclusion, embracing a life of no begging, no chasing, no texting, and no games is a powerful decision to reclaim your peace and self-worth. When you stop seeking validation from others and stop engaging in toxic cycles, you create space for real, meaningful connections based on mutual respect. By detaching from outcomes and focusing on your own inner strength, you begin to attract the right energy into your life. You deserve peace, not drama, and by choosing to protect your energy, you empower yourself to live a life of intention and balance. The more you focus on yourself and act from a place of confidence, the more you'll see the positive shifts in your relationships and in your own personal growth. Thank you for listening. Stay true to yourself, hold your ground, and remember you are enough. There is a beauty in simplicity that often goes unnoticed. But let me remind you today that simplicity paired with high standards is a force unstoppable. A simple woman grounded in her truth is like a still lake, unassuming yet profoundly deep. She knows that her worth is not determined by external noise. She does not seek to prove herself, for she already knows who she is. Her simplicity is not a lack, it is a refusal to entertain the superficial. She doesn't complicate her life with unnecessary drama or distractions. Instead, She carries herself with quiet dignity, allowing her standards to speak louder than her words. Understand that standards are not walls, they are invitations. When you hold yourself to a high standard, you are not excluding others, you are inviting only those who resonate with your frequency. The simple woman understands this truth. She does not demand respect, it flows to her naturally because her energy commands it. Some may question her, asking why she seems so picky or hard to get, but a simple woman with big standards does not waver. She knows that what is meant for her will never require her to compromise her integrity. She knows that lowering her standards only brings chaos and disappointment. When you align with your standards, you set the tone for how others treat you. Life itself rearranges in response to your beliefs. If you believe you deserve mediocrity, that is what will fill your life. But if you know you deserve the best, the universe has no choice but to meet you where you stand. To the simple woman with big standards, understand this truth: you are not alone. You are the embodiment of inner strength and quiet confidence. Keep walking in your simplicity. Keep upholding your standards. The right people, the right opportunities, and the right life will align with you, not because you begged for it, but because you believed in it. In this world, simplicity is a superpower. And when simplicity is paired with unshakable standards, it transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. So stand firm. Your life is shaped not by what you chase, but by what you allow. Simplicity is often misunderstood in a world that equates complexity with sophistication. Yet, simplicity is not a mark of inferiority, it is a reflection of clarity and confidence. A simple woman with high standards stands apart because she operates from a place of quiet assurance. She does not need to wear her worth like a badge or constantly seek validation from others. Her simplicity is not a mask for inadequacy, but a declaration of her inner strength and self-awareness. To be simple is to be clear about who you are and what you value. This clarity allows a woman to strip away the unnecessary, both in her outward appearance and in her inner life. She knows what she stands for, and she refuses to dilute herself to fit into spaces that do not honor her essence. Her standards are not designed to exclude, but to protect her energy, her time, and her peace. She values these treasures too much to squander them on pursuits or people that do not align with her vision of herself. In relationships, both personal and professional, she brings this same energy of quiet confidence. She does not demand attention or seek to dominate a room. Instead, her presence commands respect because it is authentic and unwavering. She knows her worth is not tied to how others perceive her, but to the value she places on herself. This self-respect sets the tone for how others interact with her. They sense her unspoken boundaries, her unwavering standards, and they rise to meet her where she stands. There is strength in simplicity because it allows for focus. A simple woman knows how to prioritize what truly matters. She does not scatter her energy on frivolous endeavors or meaningless pursuits. Her clarity enables her to channel her efforts toward what aligns with her purpose and values. In a world full of noise and distractions, this focus is a rare and powerful gift. It allows her to navigate life with intention, moving forward without being swayed by every passing trend or opinion. Some may mistake her simplicity for passivity or lack of ambition, but they are mistaken. Her simplicity is not about doing less, but about doing what matters most. She is deliberate and discerning, not driven by the need to impress, but by the desire to live authentically. This discernment extends to every area of her life, from the relationships she nurtures to the goals she pursues. She understands that quality always outweighs quantity, whether in love, friendships, or achievements. Critics might label her as too simple or too picky, but she remains unfazed. She knows that those who misunderstand her are simply not meant to walk alongside her. A simple woman with high standards is not for everyone, and she is perfectly at peace with that. She would rather stand alone in her truth than compromise her values for the sake of acceptance. This unwavering commitment to herself is not arrogance, it is the ultimate act of self-respect. Her simplicity is also her greatest asset in navigating the complexities of life. By staying grounded in her essence, she can adapt to challenges without losing herself. She faces adversity with grace and composure because she is not burdened by pretense or unnecessary complications. Her clear mind and steady heart give her the resilience to overcome obstacles while staying true to her path. A simple woman with high standards is a beacon of clarity and confidence in a world that often prioritizes appearances over substance. She is proof that simplicity is not a lack but a choice to value what truly matters, to honor oneself, and to live with purpose. Her simplicity is her strength, her high standards are her guide, and her unwavering self-belief is the foundation of her extraordinary life. Standards are not arbitrary rules or unreasonable expectations, they are a reflection of how much a person values themselves. For a woman with high standards, these are not barriers meant to isolate her or push others away, they are a manifestation of her deep-seated belief in her own worth. Her standards are not negotiable, nor are they shaped by the opinions or desires of others. They are rooted in the conviction that she is deserving of what aligns with her values, her vision, and her purpose. Lowering her standards is not an option because she knows it would mean doubting herself. She has no interest in settling for less than what she truly desires. Settling, to her, is not an act of practicality or compromise, it is an act of betrayal toward herself. She would rather wait patiently and faithfully for what aligns with her than accept what falls short. Her patience is not a sign of weakness, but a demonstration of her unwavering belief in her worth. This belief is powerful because it shapes how she moves through life. It influences her relationships, her career, and even the way she treats herself. She does not allow others to dictate her value or convince her to accept less than she knows she deserves. Her high standards act as a filter, weeding out what is incompatible with her and making space for what truly belongs in her life. She is not afraid to say no, to walk away, or to start over if necessary, because she trusts that the right things will come when she holds firm to her values. Her high standards extend to every aspect of her life. In relationships, she values authenticity, kindness, and mutual respect. She will not tolerate dishonesty or inconsistency, not because she is difficult, but because she values emotional safety and genuine connection. In her career, she strives for excellence and refuses to settle for mediocrity. She holds herself accountable to the same standards she expects from others, ensuring that her life is a reflection of her deepest beliefs. This alignment between her standards and her beliefs is what makes her magnetic. She does not need to chase opportunities or people, they are naturally drawn to her because of the energy she carries. Her unwavering belief in herself creates a sense of certainty and stability that others find inspiring. She becomes a living example of what it means to honor oneself, and this inspires others to do the same. Her standards are a declaration of faith. She knows that the universe responds to the energy she puts out. By upholding her standards, she is telling the universe, I am ready to receive what is meant for me. She understands that her belief in herself is the key to attracting the life she desires. It is not about forcing things to happen or chasing after what she wants, it is about aligning herself with her vision and trusting that everything will fall into place. A woman with high standards is not difficult, she is discerning. She is not rigid, she is intentional. Her standards are not barriers, they are bridges to a life that reflects her highest self. She knows that what she deserves is already hers, and she will not compromise on that truth. This belief is her power, her foundation, and her compass as she navigates life with confidence, grace, and purpose. Detachment is a quiet, profound power that is often misunderstood. It is not apathy, indifference, or a lack of care, rather, it is the ability to let go of the need to control outcomes and trust in the natural flow of life. A simple woman who embodies detachment understands this truth deeply. She does not chase after what she desires, nor does she beg for recognition or approval. Instead, she aligns herself with her values, knowing that by doing so, the world will naturally meet her at her level. This quiet power of detachment is rooted in self-worth. She knows her value and does not seek it outside herself. This inner certainty frees her from the compulsion to prove, to force, or to manipulate situations. She trusts that what is meant for her will come, and what is not will fall away. This trust allows her to release attachment to specific outcomes, understanding that holding on too tightly only creates resistance. By letting go, she opens herself up to receive with grace and ease. Detachment does not mean she lacks ambition or desire. It means she approaches her goals with clarity and confidence, free from desperation. She understands that chasing after something places her in a position of lack, signaling to the world that she believes she is incomplete without it. But she knows she is whole as she is, and this wholeness radiates through her actions and presence. Her desires do not come from a place of need, but from a place of alignment. She seeks what resonates with her values and purpose, trusting that her energy will attract the right opportunities and people. When it comes to relationships, her detachment is not coldness, but a form of respect both for herself and for others. She does not cling to people or try to hold them against their will. She allows others the freedom to choose, understanding that love, respect, and connection cannot be forced. If someone does not value or reciprocate her energy, she does not beg them to stay. Instead, she lets them go, confident in the knowledge that their absence creates space for something better to align with her. This strength is not always easy to maintain in a world that often equates effort with worthiness. Society encourages people to hustle, chase, and fight for what they want. But she knows there is a different path, one that requires trust, patience, and inner peace. By refusing to chase, she demonstrates her belief in the power of alignment. She knows that her energy, actions, and intentions are enough to draw what is meant for her. Her detachment also extends to the material world. She does not obsess over possessions or status symbols because her sense of self is not tied to external markers of success. She values simplicity, focusing on what truly matters rather than getting caught up in superficial pursuits. This clarity allows her to make decisions that align with her long-term vision, rather than being swayed by fleeting desires or societal expectations. When challenges arise, her detachment becomes her greatest asset. She does not allow setbacks to define her or throw her off course. Instead, she views them as opportunities for growth and recalibration. By not attaching herself to a specific outcome, she remains flexible and open to possibilities that may be even greater than what she initially envisioned. Her detachment is not a lack of commitment, but a willingness to adapt and trust the process. This quiet power transforms her interactions with the world. People are drawn to her not because she demands their attention, but because she carries an aura of self-assurance and peace. She does not chase after recognition or approval. She simply lives in alignment with her truth, and the right people recognize her for who she is. Her lack of desperation creates space for genuine connections, untainted by neediness or ulterior motives. Detachment is a form of freedom. A simple woman who embraces this freedom is unburdened by the need to control, impress, or conform. She walks through life with a calm confidence, knowing that her worth is not dependent on external validation. Her alignment with her values creates a magnetic pull, drawing the right opportunities, relationships, and experiences into her life. By not chasing or begging, she creates a space for the universe to work in her favor, and in that space she finds peace, purpose, and fulfillment. A woman who embodies simplicity and high standards is not exclusive in the sense of being aloof or unreachable. Instead, she is highly selective. This distinction is profound. She does not shut herself off from the world or reject opportunities and relationships out of pride or arrogance. Rather, her selectiveness is an intentional act of focus and alignment, ensuring that her energy is spent only on what truly matters. She understands that simplicity is not about having less, it's about choosing carefully and living with clarity. Her selectiveness begins with self-awareness. She knows who she is, what she values, and what she wants from life. This clarity allows her to distinguish between what adds value to her journey and what distracts from it. She is not swayed by trends, opinions, or societal expectations. Instead, she tunes into her own intuition and makes choices based on what feels right for her. This inner compass guides her, enabling her to filter out the noise and focus on the people, experiences, and goals that align with her purpose. Her simplicity acts as a natural filter. She does not need to overcomplicate her life by chasing after everything or saying yes to everyone. She understands that spreading herself too thin only dilutes her energy and reduces her ability to give her best to what truly matters. By being selective, she creates space in her life for depth, quality, and meaningful connections. This does not make her exclusive or unapproachable, rather, it makes her intentional. She values her time and energy, recognizing them as finite resources that deserve to be protected and invested wisely. In relationships, her selectiveness ensures that she surrounds herself with individuals who respect her values and uplift her spirit. She is open to forming connections, but not at the expense of her peace or self-worth. She is not drawn to superficial interactions or fleeting dynamics. Instead, she seeks relationships that are rooted in authenticity, trust, and mutual respect. This does not mean she expects perfection from others. She understands that everyone is human. However, she is discerning about who she allows into her inner circle, knowing that the company she keeps has a significant impact on her growth and well-being. Her selectiveness also extends to how she pursues her goals. She does not scatter her energy across countless ambitions, hoping that something will stick. Instead, she takes the time to identify what is truly important to her and dedicates herself fully to those pursuits. This focus allows her to achieve more with less effort because she is not distracted by things that do not serve her. Her simplicity is not a lack of ambition, but a refinement of it. By concentrating her efforts on what truly matters, she amplifies her ability to succeed. Even in her daily life, her selectiveness is evident. She does not clutter her mind or environment with unnecessary distractions. She prioritizes simplicity not as an aesthetic choice, but as a practical one. A clear space, a focused mind, and a calm heart enable her to navigate life with ease and clarity. This does not mean she avoids challenges or discomfort. Rather, she chooses her battles wisely, investing her energy where it will have the greatest impact. Some may mistake her selectiveness for exclusivity or even elitism, but this is a misunderstanding. She is not closed off, she is simply protective of her peace and purpose. Her simplicity is not about rejecting others, it's about honoring herself. She believes that everyone has the right to live with intention and alignment, and she extends the same respect to others that she expects for herself. She does not judge or look down on those who make different choices. She simply knows what works for her and remains true to it. This selectiveness does not isolate her, it empowers her. By focusing on what truly matters, she creates a life that is rich in meaning and free from unnecessary burdens. Her simplicity allows her to experience greater joy and fulfillment because she is not weighed down by distractions or compromises. She moves through life with grace and confidence, knowing that her choices reflect her deepest values. Her selectiveness is a form of self-respect. She understands that her time, energy, and attention are precious, and she refuses to waste them on anything that does not align with her vision. This does not make her exclusive, it makes her intentional. Her simplicity is a powerful tool that enables her to live fully and authentically, focusing on what truly matters while letting go of everything that does not. True power does not demand to be proclaimed, it radiates quietly and unmistakably. A simple woman with high standards does not need to announce her worth or advertise her values. She carries them in the way she moves, speaks, and interacts with the world. Her actions, decisions, and the energy she brings to every situation speak louder than words ever could. It is this quiet, unwavering presence that commands respect and sets the tone for how others treat her. She understands that value is something demonstrated, not declared. People can say anything, but actions reveal truth. For her, living in alignment with her standards is far more powerful than verbal declarations. When she says she values integrity, she shows it through her honesty and dependability. When she claims to prioritize self-respect, it is evident in the way she handles herself, refusing to compromise her dignity for temporary approval or fleeting gains. Her energy is magnetic, not because she tries to impress, but because she remains authentic. She doesn't seek validation from others, nor does she force anyone to understand her worth. Instead, she allows her character to shine naturally, trusting that those who recognize her value will align with her, while those who do not are simply not meant to stay in her life. This quiet confidence creates a powerful ripple effect that subtly sets expectations without the need for confrontation or explanation. Her actions set the tone in relationships, work, and personal endeavors. She doesn't need to say, "I won't tolerate disrespect," because her boundaries are clear in the way she responds to others. If someone crosses a line, she calmly but firmly enforces her limits. If someone fails to appreciate her efforts, she doesn't plead for recognition, she simply steps back, knowing her value does not depend on another's acknowledgement. This approach may seem understated, but it speaks volumes to those who interact with her. This woman understands that people take cues from how she treats herself. If she prioritizes self-care and refuses to settle, she naturally communicates that she expects others to treat her with the same respect. On the other hand, if she were to lower her standards, it would send the message that she accepts less than she deserves. But she does not falter. She consistently shows up for herself, and in doing so, she inspires others to meet her at the level she operates. Her energy is a quiet yet powerful invitation to rise higher. She does not demand or manipulate. Instead, she embodies the value she holds dear, letting her presence do the work. When others see her commitment to excellence, her grace under pressure, and her refusal to compromise her principles, they naturally begin to match her energy or drift away. This is not arrogance, it is alignment. She understands that she cannot change others, but she can maintain her own standards. And this consistency has a transformative effect on those around her. In professional settings, her value shines through her dedication and results. She doesn't waste time boasting about her ability, she lets her work speak for itself. Her attention to detail, her discipline, and her ability to stay true to her vision make her a force to be reckoned with. Colleagues and leaders quickly learn that she is not someone to underestimate or take lightly. They respect her not because she demands it, but because she earns it through her unwavering commitment to excellence. Even in personal relationships, her value speaks louder than any declaration. She doesn't need to announce that she deserves respect, loyalty, or love. Her behavior makes it clear. She is kind but firm, compassionate but discerning. She does not chase after anyone or beg for attention. Instead, she invests her energy in those who reciprocate, creating bonds built on mutual respect and genuine connection. Her ability to let her value shine through actions rather than words comes from a deep sense of self-awareness. She knows who she is and what she brings to the table. This inner certainty allows her to move through life with grace and ease, unbothered by the need to prove herself. She trusts that her energy will attract what aligns with her, and she has no interest in convincing others of her worth. A simple woman with high standards teaches an important lesson: value is not something you declare, it is something you embody. Through her consistent actions and unwavering energy, she sets the tone for how she is treated without ever needing to say a word. Her presence is her statement, and it is both powerful and undeniable. Manifestation is not about effort, it is about alignment. A woman who holds firm to her standards understands this profound truth. Her reality is not shaped by external circumstances, but by the certainty she carries within herself. She knows that by staying true to her values and refusing to compromise her principles, she creates a life that mirrors her inner state. This is the essence of manifestation, the ability to attract what aligns with who you are and what you believe to be true. Her standards are not arbitrary, they are deeply rooted in her self-awareness and her understanding of what she deserves. She does not set them to impress others or to fulfill societal expectations. Instead, they are a reflection of her inner values, her respect for herself, and her unwavering belief in her worth. These standards act as a guide, helping her navigate life with clarity and purpose. When she holds firm to them, she sends a powerful message to the universe: this is who I am, and this is what I allow into my life. The beauty of this approach lies in its simplicity. She does not need to chase after what she desires. Instead, she focuses on becoming the person who naturally attracts those things. Her energy is not spent trying to force outcomes or manipulate situations. Rather, she aligns herself with the reality she wishes to experience. This alignment is not a passive act, it is an active choice to embody her values, maintain her standards, and trust that what is meant for her will find its way into her life. Her inner certainty is the foundation of her manifestation power. She does not waver in her beliefs, even when faced with challenges or delays. She understands that the outer world is a reflection of the inner world, and as long as she remains steadfast in her values, the external circumstances will eventually align. She does not allow temporary setbacks to shake her faith or lead her to lower her standards. Instead, she uses them as opportunities to reaffirm her commitment to herself. This unwavering belief creates a sense of calm and confidence that is palpable. Others can sense her inner strength, even if they cannot articulate it. She does not need to explain or justify her standards because her energy speaks for itself. People and opportunities that resonate with her values are naturally drawn to her, while those that do not simply fall away. This is not a coincidence, it is the result of the clarity and certainty she brings to her life. She also understands that manifestation requires patience and trust. She does not rush the process or become frustrated when things do not happen immediately. Instead, she remains grounded in the knowledge that everything unfolds in its perfect time. Her role is not to control the how or when, but to stay aligned with her values and trust that the universe is working in her favor. This trust allows her to let go of anxiety and fear, creating space for her desires to flow into her life with ease. Her standards act as a filter, ensuring that only what aligns with her values enters her life. She does not settle for less or compromise her principles to gain temporary satisfaction. This discipline may seem restrictive to some, but to her, it is liberating. By saying no to what does not serve her, she creates room for what truly belongs in her life. This selectiveness is not about being exclusive, it is about being intentional. Her approach to manifestation is not limited to material goals or external achievements. It is a holistic process that touches every aspect of her life. Whether it is relationships, career opportunities, or personal growth, she holds the same high standards. She knows that true fulfillment comes from living in alignment with her values, not from accumulating things or seeking approval from others. By staying true to herself, she ensures that every aspect of her life reflects her authenticity. This inner certainty also makes her resilient. She is not easily swayed by external opinions or pressures because her confidence comes from within. She does not need validation from others to feel secure in her choices. This independence strengthens her ability to manifest because it keeps her focused on her own path. She is not distracted by comparisons or doubts. She remains centered in her truth, trusting that what is meant for her will come. Her life becomes a reflection of her inner world. By holding firm to her standards, she creates a reality that is aligned with her values, her vision, and her worth. This is not magic, it is the natural result of living with clarity, intention, and unwavering belief. Her manifestation power lies in her ability to stay true to herself, knowing that everything she desires is already hers when she aligns with it from within. The essence of a simple woman with big standards is her unwavering commitment to herself. She embodies clarity, grace, and inner certainty, crafting a life that reflects her values without needing to chase or compromise. Her simplicity is her strength, her standards are her compass, and her quiet confidence is the force that shapes her reality. She knows that true power lies not in seeking external validation, but in living authentically, trusting that the universe aligns with her belief in her own worth. So to every woman who dares to remain true to herself, embrace your simplicity, stand firm in your standards, and trust the power of your inner certainty. You are not defined by the noise around you, but by the quiet, resolute energy you carry within. Thank you for listening, and may you always have the courage to live in alignment with your highest self. Let me tell you something straight. In this life, hesitation is the thief of greatness. Too many people sit on the sidelines, not because they lack talent, but because they are too shy to step into the spotlight. But not you. After today, you're leaving all that hesitation behind. Dreams are the seeds of greatness. Yet so many of us are too timid to say them out loud, as if speaking them will make them any less real. Let me tell you right now, your dreams are valid. Don't let anyone convince you that aiming high is arrogance. Speak your dreams with pride, because the world only makes room for those bold enough to declare their intentions. There's no shame in needing a hand. We weren't made to walk this road alone. Asking for help is not weakness, it's wisdom. Whether it's seeking advice from a mentor or leaning on a friend during tough times, don't let pride or shyness rob you of the strength found in unity. Truth can be uncomfortable, but it's always powerful. Don't shy away from who you are or what you believe. Stand firm in your convictions, even when it feels like the world is trying to shake you. Your truth is your foundation. It's not something to hide, it's something to build on. The world doesn't benefit from you playing small. You've worked hard, sacrificed, and overcome. So when it's your time to shine, don't dim your light. Celebrate your wins, no matter how big or small. When you embrace your own greatness, you give others permission to do the same. Now hear me when I say this. Life is too short to tiptoe around the things that matter. Be bold. Speak loudly. Stand tall. The next time shyness tries to creep in, remember this greatness doesn't hide, it stands proud and unapologetic. Your voice is more than just a tool for communication. It is your power, your identity, and the bridge between your thoughts and the world around you. Yet, so many of us choose to stay silent when it matters most. We bite our tongues in meetings, keep our ideas locked away in fear of rejection, or shy away from speaking up for ourselves because we worry about judgment. But let me tell you something, silence often buries opportunities. When you hold back your voice, you deny yourself the chance to shape your reality. Words have weight. They have the power to inspire, to challenge, and to create change. Every great movement in history began with someone daring to speak. Every significant relationship thrives because of open and honest communication. Every missed opportunity often traces back to the words we were too afraid to say. Silence is comfortable. It feels safe. It avoids confrontation and shields us from vulnerability. But comfort is not where growth lies. When you refuse to speak your truth, you not only rob yourself of opportunities, but also deprive the world of the unique perspective you bring. There are ideas, thoughts, and solutions that only you can offer. Imagine the countless doors that remain closed simply because you chose not to knock. But let's address the fear behind silence, because it's real. Speaking up often feels like stepping into the unknown. You might wonder, what if they don't agree? What if I'm misunderstood? What if my words aren't enough? These fears are valid, but they must not define you. Growth happens when you push through that fear, knowing that your voice carries value regardless of the outcome. The truth is, not everyone will agree with you. Not everyone will embrace your ideas or opinions. But that's not the point. The point is to be authentic, to stand by your convictions, and to give yourself the freedom to be heard. Your voice is also a reflection of your self-worth. When you choose to speak up, you are saying, I matter. My thoughts matter. My experiences matter. And that self-affirmation has a ripple effect. It teaches others to respect your presence and acknowledge your contributions. It encourages them to listen and perhaps even reflect on their own silence. Think about the moments in your life when you did speak up. Maybe you advocated for yourself in a challenging situation. Maybe you shared an idea that transformed a project or a relationship. Maybe you defended someone who couldn't defend themselves. How did that feel? It felt powerful because it was powerful. Every time you use your voice, you reclaim a piece of your power and strengthen the belief that you are capable of shaping your world. But this isn't just about you. Speaking your truth also creates space for others to do the same. When you lead by example, you inspire those around you to step out of their own shadows of silence. It becomes a collective act of courage, a reminder that every voice matters in the grand symphony of life. Now, This doesn't mean you have to speak loudly or aggressively to be heard. Power doesn't come from volume, it comes from authenticity. It comes from speaking with clarity, intention, and confidence in what you believe. Even a whisper can move mountains when it carries conviction. So the next time you feel the urge to stay quiet, ask yourself, what opportunities am I burying by holding back? Whether it's an idea, a need, or a boundary, your voice is the key to unlocking possibilities. It's the difference between being a spectator in your own life and being an active participant. The world is full of noise, but it's the voices that carry truth and purpose that rise above it. Don't let fear or doubt silence you. Speak your truth, because your voice is your power. Life is not a passive experience, it is an active pursuit of purpose, growth, and fulfillment. Too often, people go through their days quietly waiting, hoping that the blessings they desire will somehow find them. They tell themselves that being patient and keeping their heads down is the way to go. But life does not hand out rewards to the timid. It honors those who step forward boldly and claim what is rightfully theirs. Asking for what you deserve is not about entitlement, it is about recognition of your worth and the courage to act on it. So many people hold themselves back, not because they lack talent or potential, but because they fear rejection. They convince themselves that they are asking for too much, or that they haven't yet earned the right to want more. But let's be clear, playing small will not make your dreams any closer to reality. If you do not ask, you will not receive. This doesn't just apply to material success or professional achievements. It's about every area of your life: relationships, opportunities, respect, and even the way you allow yourself to be treated. Think about it. How many times have you settled for less than you deserved because you were too afraid to ask for more? Maybe it was a promotion you didn't pursue, a boundary you didn't enforce, or a dream you didn't chase. Each time you hold back, you send a message to the world and to yourself that you are okay with less than you deserve. Now, let's talk about what it takes to ask for what you deserve. It begins with belief in your value, your abilities, and your right to receive the abundance life has to offer. This belief is the foundation of confidence, and confidence is the key to asking boldly. When you truly understand your worth, it becomes impossible to settle for scraps. You recognize that your time, energy, and talents are precious, and you refuse to waste them on anything that doesn't honor your potential. But belief alone is not enough. Action is where the transformation happens. Asking for what you deserve requires courage, because the answer might not always be yes. There will be times when people say no, when doors close, or when you face criticism for being too ambitious. But understand, this rejection is not failure, it is redirection. Every time you step forward and ask, you are planting a seed of possibility. Even if the immediate answer is no, you are building the habit of advocating for yourself, and that habit will eventually lead to success. One of the greatest obstacles to asking boldly is the fear of being perceived as selfish or demanding. Society often teaches us to be humble, to avoid making waves, and to accept what we are given. But humility does not mean shrinking yourself. It does not mean denying your desires or settling for mediocrity. True humility is knowing your worth and carrying yourself with quiet confidence. It is understanding that asking for what you deserve is not just about you. It's about honoring the gifts you have been given and using them to create impact. The blessings you seek are often closer than you think, but they require action to be unlocked. Whether it's speaking up in a meeting, negotiating for better pay, or setting boundaries in a relationship, the act of asking sends a powerful message to the universe: I am ready. It shows that you are willing to step out of your comfort zone and claim the life you envision for yourself. You have to understand that the world doesn't owe you anything. No one is going to hand you your dreams on a silver platter. But when you show up boldly, when you ask with conviction and persistence, life responds. It may not happen overnight, but each time you ask, you are aligning yourself with the opportunities and outcomes you desire. So, don't be timid. Don't wait for permission or validation. You are deserving of the life you want, but it's up to you to claim it, Ask for what you deserve, not with arrogance, but with the unwavering belief that you are worthy. Life will meet you at the level of your courage. Make sure you're asking boldly enough for it to hear you. Every person on this planet is unique, carrying a combination of qualities, experiences, and perspectives that no one else has. Yet, in a world that often pressures us to conform, it's easy to forget that our uniqueness is not a flaw, it's our greatest strength. The very things that set you apart, the things that make you different, are what give you the power to make an impact. Authenticity is your superpower, and there is no need to apologize for being yourself. Think about it, how much energy do people waste trying to fit into molds that were never made for them? They suppress their quirks, hide their opinions, and mimic others in the hope of gaining acceptance. But in doing so, they lose the spark that makes them special. Pretending to be someone else may win approval, but it will never bring fulfillment. True joy comes from embracing who you are, flaws and all, and living in alignment with your values and passions. Being authentic doesn't mean you're perfect, it means you're real. It's about owning your story, the highs and the lows, and letting go of the need to please everyone. When you show up as your true self, you attract the right people and opportunities into your life. Those who appreciate you for who you are will gravitate toward you, while those who don't align with your authenticity will naturally fall away. This is not a loss, it's liberation. Embracing your uniqueness is also a form of self-respect. It's saying to the world, I am enough just as I am. When you stop apologizing for being yourself, you create space to explore your potential fully. You stop hiding your talents out of fear of judgment. You stop dimming your light to make others comfortable. And most importantly, you give yourself permission to thrive. But let's be honest, embracing your uniqueness isn't always easy. Society often rewards conformity and punishes difference. People may criticize or misunderstand you when you choose to stand out. This can be intimidating, but remember, the opinions of others do not define your worth. The discomfort of being judged is temporary, but the regret of not being true to yourself can last a lifetime. It's important to understand that your uniqueness doesn't just serve you, it serves the world. You bring something to the table that no one else can. Your perspective, your creativity, and your experiences contribute to the richness of the human story. Imagine how many innovations, works of art, or breakthroughs would be lost if everyone suppressed their individuality. By embracing your uniqueness, you become a force for diversity, growth, and progress. Of course, there will be times when you feel the temptation to conform, to tone down who you are to avoid standing out. In those moments, remind yourself that authenticity is not just a choice, it's a commitment. It's a promise to honor your journey, your values, and your dreams. And while it may not always be the easiest path, it is the most rewarding. Celebrate the things that make you different, no matter how small they seem. Whether it's your sense of humor, your way of thinking, or your personal style, these are the elements that make you irreplaceable. Lean into them, use them, share them with the world. Because when you embrace your authenticity, you're not just living for yourself, you're giving others permission to do the same. So stand tall in who you are, speak your truth, chase your passions, and never apologize for being uniquely, beautifully, and unapologetically you. Your authenticity is your superpower, and the world needs it now more than ever. In a world where opinions shift like the wind and people often compromise their beliefs for the sake of convenience or approval, standing firm in your values is an act of courage. It requires conviction to stay true to what you believe in, especially when those beliefs are challenged or unpopular. But this isn't arrogance, it's strength, the kind of strength that defines your character and shapes your path in life. Your values are the foundation of who you are. They reflect what you hold dear, what you prioritize, and what you stand for. When you compromise on those values, even in small ways, you begin to drift away from your authentic self. Each time you say yes to something that goes against your beliefs or ignore that inner voice urging you to stand your ground, you weaken the trust you have in yourself. Over time, this leads to regret, frustration, and a sense of disconnect from your true purpose. Strength is not about being rigid or unyielding. It's about having clarity in what matters most to you and the courage to live by it, even when it's hard. It's easy to stand by your values when life is going smoothly or when others agree with you. The real test comes when circumstances push you to compromise, when staying true to your principles costs you an opportunity, a relationship, or approval from others. In those moments, it's essential to remind yourself that your integrity is worth far more than temporary comfort. Standing firm in your values doesn't mean you won't face resistance. People might misunderstand you, criticize you, or try to persuade you to change your stance. This can be uncomfortable, even painful, but remember, their opinions do not define you. Strength comes from within, not from external validation. When you stay rooted in what you believe, you cultivate a sense of self-respect that no one can take away. Being true to your values also has a ripple effect. It inspires others to reflect on their own principles and encourages them to live authentically. Think about the people you admire most. Chances are, they are individuals who stood firm in their beliefs, even in the face of adversity. Their unwavering commitment to their values likely left a lasting impression on you. By staying true to yourself, you have the power to be that kind of influence for others. It's important to understand that standing firm in your values doesn't mean you're unwilling to grow or learn. True strength includes the ability to listen, to understand other perspectives, and to evolve. But growth should never come at the expense of your core principles. There is a difference between being open-minded and being easily swayed. The former is a sign of wisdom, while the latter often stems from a lack of confidence in your own beliefs. Living by your values also requires self-awareness. You need to be clear about what you stand for and why. Take time to reflect on what matters most to you. What are the non-negotiables in your life? What are the guiding principles that shape your decisions and actions? Once you have clarity, it becomes much easier to navigate life's challenges without losing yourself. There will be times when standing firm in your values feels lonely. You may look around and see others taking easier paths or making choices that contradict what you believe is right. In those moments, remind yourself that integrity is not about taking the easy route, it's about staying true to your inner compass. The rewards of living authentically far outweigh the temporary discomfort of standing alone. Strength rooted in values is the kind of strength that lasts. It gives you the confidence to face challenges, the courage to make tough decisions, and the resilience to overcome setbacks. It ensures that no matter what life throws your way, you remain grounded in who you are. Never apologize for being true to your beliefs. It's not arrogance to stand firm in your values, it's the highest form of respect for yourself and for the life you're creating. By living with integrity, you build a legacy that not only honors your principles but also inspires others to do the same. Let your values be your anchor, your guide, and your source of unwavering strength. There's a special kind of magic in passion, a light that radiates from within and has the power to illuminate not only your own life but also the lives of those around you. Passion is what gives life depth and meaning. It's the energy that fuels creativity, the drive behind ambition, and the force that moves mountains. Yet so many people hesitate to express their passions, fearing judgment, failure, or the vulnerability of showing their truest selves. But hiding your light only dims the room. Letting your passion shine is not just a gift to yourself, it's a gift to the world. When you suppress your passions, you deny yourself the joy of fully experiencing life. Passion is not something to be buried or tamed, it's meant to be expressed, shared, and celebrated. It's the spark that ignites purpose and gives direction. Whether it's a love for art, an ambition to start a business, a desire to help others, or a fascination with learning, your passions are a reflection of your soul's calling. Ignoring them or hiding them away out of fear or doubt is like trying to silence a symphony. The music exists to be heard, not to be muted. Expressing your passions doesn't just enrich your own life, it inspires others. When people witness someone living with genuine enthusiasm and purpose, it creates a ripple effect. It reminds them of their own dreams and motivates them to pursue what sets their hearts on fire. Your courage to embrace and express your passions can be the encouragement someone else needs to do the same. Passion is contagious. It spreads energy, positivity, and possibility wherever it goes. By stepping into your light, you unknowingly light the path for others. Yet, expressing your passions is not without challenges. There will always be critics, doubters, and those who misunderstand your journey. It's easy to let the fear of judgment hold you back. But remember this, the opinions of others are not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to honor the fire within you. Passion is not about perfection, it's about authenticity. It's about showing up with all your enthusiasm, creativity, and effort, even if the outcome isn't flawless. The act of expressing your passion is itself an accomplishment, a triumph over fear and hesitation. It's also important to understand that your passion doesn't have to make sense to everyone. Not everyone will see what you see or feel what you feel, and that's okay. Your passion is yours for a reason. It was placed in your heart to give your life meaning and direction. Don't waste time seeking approval or validation. Instead, focus on nurturing and developing your passions. Allow them to grow and evolve. The right people, the ones who are meant to be inspired by your journey, will recognize and appreciate your light. Expressing your passions also means embracing vulnerability. It requires you to put yourself out there, to take risks, and to face uncertainty. But in that vulnerability lies incredible strength. When you pursue your passions with courage, you build resilience. You learn to trust yourself and to find joy in the process, rather than just the outcome. Passion is not about the destination, it's about the journey. It's about waking up every day excited to create, explore, and contribute in ways that are uniquely yours. The world needs more people who are alive with passion. Too often, we are surrounded by routine, conformity, and apathy. But when someone dares to live with passion, it disrupts the monotony and reminds us of what's possible. It brings color to a gray world and breathes life into spaces that felt stagnant. Your passion has the power to transform not only your life, but also the lives of others. Whether you're an artist, a teacher, an innovator, or a dreamer, your passion is a light meant to shine. So don't hide your light. Let it shine boldly, unapologetically, and brightly. Express your passions in every way you can through your words, your actions, your creations, and your pursuits. Let your enthusiasm be a beacon, drawing others to the warmth and brilliance of your authentic self. In doing so, you'll discover that passion, when shared, grows exponentially. It becomes not just a personal joy, but a force for connection, inspiration, and change. Illuminate the room. The world is waiting for your light. The world is a place of constant challenges, opportunities, and uncertainties. To navigate it successfully, you must face it with confidence. Shyness may feel like a shield, a way to avoid scrutiny, rejection, or failure, but it's not protection, it's a barrier. Shyness keeps you from stepping into the arena, from taking risks that could lead to incredible rewards, and from fully expressing who you are. Courage, not shyness, is what arms you to handle life's challenges, and it is the key to unlocking your potential. Confidence is not about being fearless or never doubting yourself. It's about acknowledging those fears and doubts, but choosing to act in spite of them. It's a mindset that allows you to say, I may not have all the answers, but I trust myself to figure it out. Confidence is built through action, through showing up and engaging with the world, even when it feels uncomfortable. Every time you take a step forward, despite your hesitations, you build a stronger foundation of courage and self-belief. Shyness, on the other hand, often holds you back. It tells you to stay in the background, to avoid risks, and to play it safe. While this may seem like a way to avoid pain or failure, it also means missing out on growth, success, and the joy of achieving something meaningful. Challenges are inevitable in life, whether you face them with shyness or with confidence. The difference lies in how you approach them. Shyness often magnifies fears and makes obstacles appear larger than they are. Confidence, however, gives you the clarity and strength to tackle those challenges head-on. One of the most important aspects of building confidence is understanding that it's a skill, not an innate trait. Nobody is born with unshakable confidence. It's something that develops over time, through experiences, and through the willingness to step outside of your comfort zone. Start small. If you need to speak up in a meeting, try something new, or share your ideas with others. Each time you take these steps, you prove to yourself that you are capable. Confidence grows through these small victories, gradually silencing the voice of doubt. Facing the world with confidence also means embracing your uniqueness. Shyness often stems from the fear of judgment or rejection. But the truth is, no one else can bring what you bring to the table. Your perspective, talents, and voice are valuable. When you allow shyness to silence you, the world misses out on what you have to offer. Confidence doesn't mean being loud or dominating, it means showing up authentically and unapologetically. It's about owning your individuality and recognizing that your contributions matter. Challenges are a part of life, but they are also opportunities in disguise. They push you to grow, to adapt, and to discover strengths you didn't know you had. When you approach challenges with confidence, you see them as stepping stones rather than roadblocks. Courage allows you to take risks, to fail and try again, and to learn from every experience. It's through this process that you develop resilience, the ability to bounce back stronger each time life tests you. Confidence also has a way of creating opportunities. People are naturally drawn to those who exude self-assurance because it inspires trust and respect. Whether it's in your career, relationships, or personal goals, confidence opens doors that shyness might keep closed. When you believe in yourself, others are more likely to believe in you too. This doesn't mean you'll never face rejection or criticism, but it does mean you'll have the strength to keep moving forward. It's important to remember that confidence is not arrogance. True confidence is quiet, rooted in self-awareness and a genuine belief in your abilities. It's not about proving yourself to others, but about knowing your worth and standing firm in it. Courage is the backbone of this kind of confidence. It's what empowers you to take the first step, to face your fears, and to keep going even when the path is uncertain. So face the world with confidence. Don't let shyness rob you of the experiences and achievements waiting for you. Challenges will come, but courage will guide you through them. Trust yourself. Take action, and remember that every step you take is a step toward becoming the person you're meant to be. The world needs what you have to offer, but it can only see it if you have the courage to show up. In conclusion, never let shyness hold you back from embracing the challenges and opportunities that life presents. Confidence, fueled by courage, is the force that will help you navigate through life's uncertainties and elevate you to new heights. By expressing your voice, asking for what you deserve, celebrating your uniqueness, standing firm in your values, and sharing your passions, you unlock the power within you to create the life you desire. Remember, the world is full of challenges, but they are merely stepping stones to your success. So face the world with confidence, knowing that you are equipped with everything you need to thrive. Thank you for taking the time to listen and reflect on these words. May you step into your life with unwavering confidence and a heart full of courage.